Alex Gupta now joins us from Moscow with all the very latest. Alex, we know that it is day 10 of Russia's Ukraine invasion, and the visuals are compelling enough and speak volumes about the kind of invasion Russia has made on Ukraine. Just a little while back, there's been a ceasefire that has been announced for 2 regions. Is this a token ceasefire, or is this going to go beyond these 2 regions?
You know, I would guess, from my expert opinion, that this is just a token ceasefire. It will not stand, and we have every reason to believe, from the people I speak to here in Russia, diplomats, everyday citizens, that Russia will continue to bombard Ukraine and will try and capture Kiev and Kharkov, and this ceasefire just likely won't stand. And that's definitely the feeling on the streets and with diplomats I speak to here in Russia.
Right. What is the stance of the Defense Ministry of Russia at the moment? Has there a safe passage that has been agreed upon?
Yeah, I believe there was a agreed upon safe passage for certain refugees in Ukraine. But however, you know, I would not expect this to stand, and that the shelling will continue and the fighting will continue. And the ruble has fallen even more today. It's decreased a lot today. It's about 122 rubles to the dollar. So the ruble continues to free fall, and the economy here, you know, continues to hurt.
That's correct. Also, Alex, you know, as far as this entire ceasefire in these 2 regions has been announced, if I could take the liberty to call this just about a hogwash or posturing, or is there any element of a little bit of a pullback from these 2 regions? What's your sense? Or is there going to be no respite at all for any of the Ukrainian cities?
No, I would say this is, you know, for lack of a better word, hogwash, and that Russian forces will continue to mobilize around Kiev and bombard Kharkov and try and take the country and take the capital. So I would not give this ceasefire too much credit.
Also, just shifting the focus a little bit, what is the kind of, we are getting a lot of reactions from Ukraine, from the people of Ukraine as well. As far as the people in Russia, you're in Moscow right now, people are concerned. Yes. Leave aside the politics and the political posturing and the stance taken by Vladimir Putin. What is the sentiment that you're picking up from the people in Russia at the moment in the light of the offensive against Ukraine?
Well, I would say, you know, obviously from an economic point of view, Russians are hurting. You know, Apple Pay no longer works here. So, you know, a lot of people have iPhones and they can't use their iPhones to pay for things. But I would also say that, you know, a lot of young Russians, I was out last night, a lot of young Russians, they actually stand with Ukraine. They are upset by this war. I'm here in Red Square near the Kremlin, and there were Russians, young Russians, who were, you know, saying Slava Ukraine, you know, give life to Ukraine. So a lot of people, you know, they don't want this war, and they stand with Ukraine, and they want their life back. They wanted how it was a month ago, how their life was a month ago. And that's, you know, and last night, Friday night, you know, there wasn't a lot of people on the street. Usually Friday night in Moscow, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of cars. But last night, it was pretty quiet here in Moscow for a Friday night.
You know, before I let you go, of course, at this point of time, whether it is the US-led NATO and other countries in the European Union, they do not want to get involved and come in aid of Ukraine for the moment. And, you know, they're taking a stance from a distance. Is there any concern? Is there any fear that all of that could change? The tide could perhaps turn, and that could be probably fearful for the Russian citizens going forward?
Oh, absolutely. The last thing Russians want is to fight NATO. That's the last thing they want. The last thing they want to do is engage with NATO warplanes or American soldiers. So, you know, there is that fear that if they were to engage with NATO forces, this war would become a lot bigger and a lot more bloodshed. And that is something Russians do not want.
Absolutely. Alex, thanks so much for getting us that ground report and the sentiment of people on ground in Russia as well. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates.